Apple and Samsung, today's fiercest smartphone rivals, dominate every best phone list. They look like sworn enemies. But what if I told you they're also secret best friends? On stage, it's war. Off stage, it's a covert karaoke duet. Today, we'll peel back the curtain to see how two giants can punch each other's lights out in public, while silently wiring money to each other backstage. Apple and Samsung trading places at the top of the smartphone world, quarter after quarter, year after year. From 2021 to 2025, it's a constant seesaw. One quarter, Apple pulls ahead with a new iPhone launch. The next, Samsung strikes back with a Galaxy refresh. Q4 is usually Apple's moment. Holiday sales push them past 22%, but by spring, Samsung claws back. There's no clear king, just two titans refusing to blink. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a chess match, played with supply chains, flagship drops, and hype cycles. Every quarter is another move on the board. And when it's not about market share, it's about muscle. Apple flashes its software advantage, A18 Pro chips, iOS AI integrations, privacy lock-ins. Samsung fires back with raw hardware, 200-megapixel cameras, foldables, S Pens that scribble like tablets. Apple promises it just works. Samsung says you get it all. And while the fans argue online, these two keep dropping bombs. Who computes faster? Who charges quicker? Who whispers to your AI assistant with less lag? To the casual eye, they're Rocky and Creed slugging it out for 13 rounds. And that sets up the twist, because back in the day, these two were less like boxers and more like bandmates. Samsung started in 1938 selling dried fish and groceries. But by the 1980s, its electronics arm was all in on semiconductors. Lee Byung-chul, the patriarch, met Steve Jobs several times, swapping notes on chips and future gadgets. In 1983, Jobs visited Samsung's Seoul office the week the company approved a massive new fab in China, an early sign of mutual respect. Fast forward to the 2000s. Apple's mystery phone team needed lean, power-hungry memory. Samsung had the fabs. The two companies signed deals worth billions, making Apple Samsung's biggest single customer. By 2007, every first-gen iPhone carried Samsung NAND, flash, and DRAM.
iPhone.
January 9th, 2007, Jobs pulls the first iPhone from his jeans, and the crowd levitates. What most people don't know, before the original iPhone was announced, Samsung Crown Prince Lee Jae-yong had flown to Cupertino. Jobs reportedly disassembled a prototype on the spot, explaining its guts to the heir apparent. It was a gesture of confidence, maybe even friendship. But as we know, friendships can sour. Just 2 years later, Samsung unveils the first Galaxy. Big glass slab, one button, grid of colorful icons. Jobs said, "I will spend my last dying breath if I need to, and I will spend every penny of Apple's $40 billion in the bank to right this wrong. I'm going to destroy Android because it's a stolen product." April 2011, Apple sues. 16 claims, trade dress, icon design, even bezel curves. Samsung counters. Cue a 7-year world tour of litigation. California, Germany, Seoul. Injunctions, billion-dollar damages, midnight filings. At one point, a U.S. jury fined Samsung $1 billion, sparking widespread media headlines dubbing it the Rectangle Wars. On June 27, 2018, the companies quietly agreed to settle and close the lawsuit chapters. No public victories, no $1 billion verdicts. Just peace. Case settled, terms confidential. After 7 years of legal slugfest, you'd think they'd never speak again. But you'd be wrong. Samsung still builds the most expensive bits inside Apple's flagships. Take iPhone X. The dazzling OLED, NAND, and memory chips were all Samsung-made. Analysts estimate Samsung pocketed $110 for every iPhone X sold. Multiply by roughly 130 million units, and you get about $14 billion, more than Samsung earned supplying its own Galaxy S8. Apple needs high-volume, high-quality parts. Samsung needs Apple's mega orders. Take either out and the other bleeds. Apple fanboys love to mock Samsung as a copycat on screens Samsung built. While Apple and Samsung fought for the top, China quietly took the field. By Q1 2025, Chinese smartphone makers Xiaomi, Oppo, and Vivo collectively held nearly 29% of the global market. That's more than Apple, more than Samsung. And they're not slowing down. Their secret sauce? Flagship-grade cameras at half the price, and launch parties streamed on TikTok. Oddly, outside pressure nudged the frenemies closer. New Samsung smart TVs ship with Apple TV app and AirPlay built in. So, after peeking behind the curtain, where do you stand? Team Apple for the seamless ecosystem? Team Samsung for bleeding-edge hardware? Or are you secretly eyeing those challenger Chinese brands? Drop your pick in the comments.